Welcome back to our study in the book of Colossians. We're in chapter 1, and we've been really going slow, but there's a reason for that. We are preparing for one of the greatest passages Paul ever wrote. It is dynamic, it is theological, and it is very liberating to the Christian to understand what he is about to say. And so we're taking our time kind of, shall we say, preparing and bracing up for this powerful message here in Colossians chapter 1. I'm going to backtrack and read verse 9 again to you and then move forward from there so we can put ourselves back in context with what we've been learning. Verse 9. For this reason we also, since the day we heard about it, have not ceased praying for you and asking that you may be filled with the knowledge of His will in all spiritual wisdom and understanding. Verse 10. So that you will walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, to please Him in all respects, bearing fruit in every good work and increasing in the knowledge of God. So he tells us that they're praying not only that they will understand God's will and have spiritual wisdom, but they will also walk daily in a manner that is worthy of proclaiming the gospel. You see, so many times we live our lives out and the way we live isn't really a way that is any more distinct from anything else. And we look just like everybody else in the world. We may not do certain things like others do, but we don't stand out with a brilliant testimony. And that's what he means when he says that we walk worthy, that we walk in a manner that's worthy of the Lord. And that we please Him, not ourselves, but we please Him by what we do, which in turn bears fruit. In other words, more people come in to the faith in Jesus Christ. In the good works we do, and increasing in the knowledge of God. In other words, knowing God more, knowing who He is, what He's doing, why He's there. And of course, if we think this kind of in reverse to the verse before, that increases our spiritual wisdom also. Let's go on to verse 11. Strengthened with all power. And of course, all power comes from God in its purest form. Because as we theologically give Him attributes, we understand scripturally that He's omnipotent, as we say. So we are strengthened with all power according to His glorious might for the attaining of all perseverance and patience joyously. Wow. He didn't have to add that word joyously, but he did. Notice that we persevere and we have patience and we do it with a joyful heart. That's something we're not real good at. When we have to persevere, we have to agonize to get through something, or we have to endure with all of our might, which, by the way, our might comes from God, if we're really honest. If we persevere and we have patience and we do it with joy, wow, it's unbelievable. He goes on in verse 12 to say what that is about. He says, giving thanks to the Father who has qualified us to share in the inheritance of the saints in light. And of course, the saints in light are the ones in heaven. And so we share that inheritance, even though we walk on this earth in mortal bodies, because we have that power of God in us, because we have come to know Christ as our personal Savior, we absolutely walk in the light, just as those who are consumed completely, overwhelmed beyond measure in the light of God, as they are in heaven after their mortality. We're going to pick up in verse 12 there tomorrow.